wanted a dog, and I went once to a place which gets dogs from the dog pound and brings them into the community. I was with my brother, and I looked in, I didn't see the dog I wanted. And my brother said, "Look at this dog." And I said, "Yeah, she's cute, but not what I want." And right away, the people from the place came over, and they're like, "Well, do you want to take her out?" And I said, "No, it's not what I want." He said, "Yes, yes." So we took her out of the cage, and I knew it was my dog at that point.
Carolyn's husband, Giuseppe Scarrato, is the award-winning executive chef at a top restaurant in Chicago. The couple recently welcomed a new addition to their family.
We have a daughter named Sabina. She's 6 months old. She's a happy, smiley little girl. I feel like she's Jane's baby. Jane is my baby, but Sabina is her baby.
Our major concern at this point is Jane being around Sabina. We're trying to prepare ourselves and in that way, and make sure that Jane's going to be fine around Sabina, and Sabina's going to be fine around Jane.
When I say let's go on a walk, Jane's really excited. But ever since I've had her, when I take her on walks, it's impossible. When Jane doesn't want to go somewhere, she puts her tail between her legs, and she's just paralyzed with fear, it looks like.
At some point, she sees like an invisible wall, and she doesn't want to cross that wall over, and she actually runs back home, really afraid.
Depending on how much traffic is in the alley or how windy a day it is, we can usually get, on a good day, we can get about halfway down the alley. But if there are people passing by, or if it's windy and there's like paper bags or plastic bags blowing around, then we can maybe get 1 or 2 doors down. And then she sits down and she's can't get home fast enough and ends up kind of pulling me back home. I go on walks all the time, and I have to leave her behind, and it just feels so wrong.
Cesar travels to the Windy City to help Carolyn and Giuseppe with this unusual case.
Okay, so how can I help you guys?
I'll start. We have a dog named Jane. She's a really sweet, really smart, good dog, but she's afraid to go on walks. I can get her a few doors down the alley, and then she turns around and goes home. And I went to dog school with her, and I dropped out because everything was about walking her, and I didn't get anywhere with that. And then I went back, and I'm a dog school dropout.
2 times?
Yeah.
What do you think makes her fearful?
People, noise. If it's a windy day and there's things blowing outside, she won't even go outside some days.
Sometimes, like, she creates, like, almost like ideal barriers, and suddenly, like, wind blows. She turns around and she starts pulling, running, just coming back home.
Pretty traumatized.
My other major concern is, since we are a family who always have other people around, friends and relatives and kids, we just want to open our house to everybody rather than have people like it happened before, like, "No, I'm not coming to your house, I'll meet you somewhere else because your dog's gonna be barking at me."
The most important part that we have to focus right now is just help her to jump over that obstacle that she's been living for the past 6 years, you know? Once you remove that, all this build-up energy goes away. Then she's going to deal with humans and wind and cars in a different way.
Yeah, well, she pretty much hangs out in the living room and just barks all day long.
They're going to have to drain energy somehow. You know, some dogs dig, some dogs destroy the house, some dogs, they bark many hours, you know. Either or are not normal. But still, again, this abnormal behavior comes from her not being able to be a normal dog.
We live like 3 blocks away from the lake, and here in Chicago, the lake is, during summertime, is the best place you can be, entertain yourself, exercise. And I would love to take her out with me every time I go on a walk and just like let her experience all the stuff dogs usually do.
The thing is, dogs, sheep herding dogs or cattle dogs are not really for the city, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't want this genetics to control the brain or to influence the brain, keep the dog tired. Instead of doing sheep herding, now she becomes the nanny.
No, I feel comfortable with her with the baby. It's like she thinks it's her baby too. That's what I feel like.
But don't let her believe that's her baby.
Okay.
That's when they become too protective. I mean, she's the nanny, not her baby.
Right.
It's a difference. It's a line there. Yeah, she's your helper, not her baby. Because they can definitely embrace that part. Especially if she never had puppies in her whole life.
Right.
They can make a cat, a baby, a pig, anything becomes their baby and protect them just like it. So just create that, you know, the line. This is as far as you can help me. Yeah.
Okay.
The hardest part is not to rehabilitate the dog. The hardest part is to help a human to stay in a calm, assertive state instead of choosing to be nervous. Because nervousness just makes you weak. You know, so then they sense that you're not in an assertive state, so they have to control situation. So that's what I say. What energy are you being? That's very important to talk about. Who am I right now as energy? Nervous, excitement, fear, tension, because that's really what they pick up from you. Animals totally know who you are. So
When they begin working with Jane in the kitchen, Cesar asks a crew member to knock at the front door.
Again, turn around and shh. There we go. I'm doing it so you can see what is the right thing to do or what is a different thing to do. You don't have to do the shh thing. You can do your own sound. You know, some people do ah. That's fine. Whatever sound makes you assertive. If you clap hands and that makes you assertive, go for it.
I'm feeling very unassertive right now.
Why?
I don't know. I guess I just have to try it.
Nothing bad is happening.
No,
No.
I'm afraid it won't work.
With you?
Yeah.
But you're already defeating yourself without even trying it.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I think a good way is just trying out.
All right, this time you're gonna try. See, she's not even looking at you. You notice? She's just and you
Yeah.
That means your energy is not assertive enough. See the difference?
Yeah.
So when I do it, she takes me serious. When you do it, she doesn't. She keeps doing it. That's the difference. That means your inner energy is not assertive enough. You still feel nervous?
Yeah.
So why? Tell me why. Why?
Because I have this dog I can't control, and it's been like this for so long, and I'm afraid that I'll never be able to do it right.
Yeah, but that's just a conversation in your mind.
I know.
Caroline was extremely afraid of failing, you know, and her mind was there's no way in the world. You know, I failed twice. You know, if I fail twice, I'm gonna fail forever. It's like, no, that's not the law of life, you know. If you fail twice, that means you have to learn. It's just a learning experience. It's an obstacle, you know. It's the imaginary obstacle, but she made it real. I mean, she made that failing a real journey of life. See, that's what I'm saying. It's harder to rehabilitate a human than a dog. Because a human is thinking. She's not thinking, she's just reacting. You know, she reacts and then I stop her and then she goes back to a calm submissive state. She's not, oh my God, I'm gonna fail? You know, she's not going through that.
I am.
You create all these stories in your mind, you know, that defeats you before you even apply it. That's the difference between winners and none. They just focus on what they really want and stay there. And you know, this is what you really want. So you gotta stay focused on what you really want.
Yeah.
This case was a lot of pent-up energy, a lot of energy stored, you know, for many years. Now, I'm not talking about weeks, I'm talking years. You know, years of a dog recollecting energy from a day before and a day before. And a very sad case, but living in the now is you forget about that. You really have to let it go and start all over again. I'm gonna go first and then I bring you.
Cesar decides to walk with Jane to assess the level of her fear.
Well, so far, she's not nervous or fearful or tense. Let's see, there we go. So there's a little hesitant right there. So I put a little bit.
Want to see really what makes her stop. So far, I'm not feeling bad energy, and I'm not looking, there we go, that's bad energy. But she recovers quick. There we go, and a little fight right there. There we go, another fight. So pretty much this is the pole that they were saying that she don't pass. She's doing fantastic. Look at that, this is good. There we go. See, the energy's going like a racehorse. She's doing this right now. Look at, we keep passing the threshold. There we go. There we go. This is as bad as it gets right here. There we go. This is good. See, the owners are back, so she's picking up on the owners.
So Jane did put up a little fight. I mean, the fight was seconds, you know, no more than 5 seconds, 6 seconds. When the owners came closer, and that's when she put up a longer fight, because she was gonna throw out the biggest temper tantrum right next to them. Because that's what she does. That's how she learned to manipulate them. So she becomes powerful, and she learned, hey, if I do this, I don't have to face my fear.
There we go. This is typical. There we go. That's right. It's how you deal with it. There we go. Typical. She was doing fantastic. It's how you deal with it, okay? So don't be nervous, don't be tense, and none of that. We're not hurting her. It is all the typical behavior she does. If we surrender, then she wins. Then the bad behavior wins. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. This typical. There we go. There we go. Very good. There we go. So, does she have any dog friends?
She used to, but they moved
There
away.
we go. That's right. That's right. That's right. You saw it? You saw the fight? So the fight, you know, we adjust, we put the collar in a certain position, you know. She threw up a little temper tantrum, you know, oh my God. Mm-hmm. But I didn't give up on it, you know. I didn't give nervous energy, tense energy, sorry energy, and you're doing this.
Yeah.
Because I know it's not bad.
She's fine.
Yeah, she wants to pull.
Jane is a dog that has 2 breeds. Sometimes one breed comes to surface. Once Jane realized that she was in the outside world, she started getting frisky. She started getting excited about it. She put her nose up in the air like this, and she started just picking up the wind, which is very, very Eskimo, you know, because Eskimo run, Eskimo moves forward. So I wanted her to be more connected to the Eskimo side of her. And she said, look, I'm ready. So I gave her what she wanted.
Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Come on. Good girl. That's a good girl. Good girl. That's right. Come on, come on, come on. Let's do this. Come on, come on.
After we removed that invisible barrier, that dog was in heaven. She was just floating. She was just doing her thing. She was just
It's amazing.
being a dog.
All right, now we can go for a walk.
Good. Awesome.
The traumatic case of Jane and the combination of the fear and pessimism coming from Caroline would intensify the behavior. Caroline was making the story and making them real. My dog is gonna fail, I'm gonna fail, Cesar is gonna fail, everybody's gonna fail. A lot of people are trapped in their own imaginary prison. That's when Daddy came into the picture. You know, I felt that if I give her a little bit more challenge, if I put a little bit more pressure, and if I force her to face fear, I mean, the only way you can get rid of fear is if you face fear. And so bringing a balanced dog, I know is gonna influence Caroline, and without a doubt, she's gonna feel exactly how it feels to walk with a balanced dog.
Just do it.
From that point, when she met Daddy, Daddy changed the whole energy in her, because once you touch an object on the other side of your arm, your brain automatically shares energy to that side. So instead of projecting all the energy on one side, she was projecting 50% of her energy on Daddy's side, which that allows her to be calm, and then 50% of the energy on Jane's side. So and then eventually, she gave it up. She wasn't thinking anymore. She was just being.
There we go. Come on, come on. Don't think about it. That's right. And relax the tension once she moves. This is typical. This is the magical thing that happens in this alley that has not been removed from you yet.
But look, she's still walking.
That's right, because you're still moving forward. It's not her, it's you. I want you to focus this. You are making this happen. It's not her. She just this is what I normally do here. But now that you're being a different person, I actually move forward, and my fear is no longer controlling me. That's right. I like that too. It's a relief. Do you remember that I told you you're gonna have this relief? That's right.
When we first started walking, I absolutely feel that I had a wall around me. Not one that I knew about, and it turns out it wasn't a very hard wall to crumble. But when we started walking in the alley, I felt a sigh of relief. I just took 2 or 3 big sighs. That felt so good because this was gone. It was gone within an instant, but it was a very solid wall up until then.
Caroline definitely got the best out of this. I feel good, you know, I free somebody today, I help somebody to get free, you know, and of course we use the dog to accomplish this. We did the exercise with the stroller with a Sabina in it because I want them to use the stroller as a pack leader, main pack leader, without the baby in there, so they learned how to master this first. So the dog learned the stroller means I have to follow her. So we're first gonna do it without the baby, of course, so, you know, so this way we prevent accidents. But at the same time, she learns, hey, when the stroller is in front, we go into a working mode. And you can always use the stroller to block her from trying to pull, you know what I mean? So she totally learned to respect the stroller. Yeah. I also suggest for them to get a backpack, and they put, you know, Pampers in the backpack. I mean, really to give her a job, you know, to give her like the super nanny job.
See, and actually, this is windy enough for her to just like stop walking.
That's right. There you go. Good go. Good job. Good job. Stay there. There you go. And then relax the leash. That's very good.
It's so easy. I just keep walking. That's really not hard. I can do that. Now that I know that's what I have to do, I can do that.
It's up to them.
Do you want to try, Pepe?
Go ahead and do the stroller?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one who changed really fast, that was Giuseppe. Giuseppe is natural. Giuseppe has this calm energy, assertive energy. Just show me how. I'll do it. So he did. I mean, it was amazing.
Now we got the start of the show. She's so in the moment, look at that. We can learn so much from babies and, you know, and dogs. They're in the moment. They just live in the moment.
Finally, Giuseppe and Carolyn learn the proper way to walk Jane with Sabrina's stroller in a manner that helps establish the baby as another pack leader in the family.
I just feel then a big brother came over and helped me out with some of the problems that I always had with my dog.
He's good.
Yeah.
This is the magic. This is, to me, dog whispering. You know, this is what dog whispering means to me. That you are able to make this dog come into a balanced state of mind and make it happen right there, that day.
That lesson that Cesar taught me about being in the moment has implications for every area of my life, about the stories that we make in our brain. That was just really powerful. I mean, they say that you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and I really thought with Jane it was hopeless, and it happened. I mean, I see it on the TV show all the time, and I believe it, but I didn't think it would happen with my dog, and it really happened right away.